How y'all doing this evening?
Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching on Rumble and on our backup YouTube channel. We appreciate y'all. We wanted to share an article with you as we get into spring and as we're getting into the growing season. We wanted to share an article with you. So let's get right into it. What's our topic that we're talking about tonight, Matt?
The topic that we are talking about tonight is toxic grocery warning, and this is brought to us by Natural News. And I was just doing some research and seeing what was going on, and this really caught my eye today. 75% of fresh, non-organic produce grown in the U.S., good old U.S. of A., found to contain toxic pesticide residue.
And we know a
Wow.
lot about this every year. Everybody talks about
Yep.
the Dirty Dozen. I think it's some really good information to see what's the dirtiest of these and what's the cleanest. It just gives you some information on how to plan and prepare, what to grow for that matter. The Environmental Working Group, EWG, named its Dirty Dozen produce items this week, highlighting the most dangerous produce items on the market when grown conventionally. And some of the items on the list may shock you since they are widely regarded as healthy superfoods.
Really?
Unless produce is grown cleanly without pesticides and herbicides and is laboratory tested, it can be risky to consume to some degree because it might be chock full of hidden chemicals, poisons that are unseen to the naked eye.
If you can trust the science.
It
though.
might even have dioxins in it now. So let's see. Mind you, the EWG's Dirty Dozen produce items are especially dangerous when grown in the United States due to the lax regulations surrounding the spray of deadly chemicals on crops. If grown elsewhere in the world, many of these foods are likely safer and less tainted than their American-grown counterparts, even
so
if
crazy.
grown conventionally.
Wow.
For their research, EWG looked at 46 different produce staples. Overall, the organization found that 75% of freshly grown produce in the U.S. contains some degree of harmful pesticide residue, which is
Daggum.
deeply concerning. The worst offenders, just like Dirty Dozen lists from previous years have shown, are among the healthiest fruits and vegetables when grown cleanly. In this case, though, these conventionally grown produce items are risky to consume because of the hidden chemicals they contain. Strawberries, grapes, apples, nectarines, pears, and cherries ranked in the top of the list for being
Wow.
the most dangerous when grown conventionally. The latest EWG findings show. The same is true for antioxidant-rich blueberries and leafy green vegetables like kale, which are heavily sprayed with chemicals when grown conventionally.
You know, the funny thing is, scroll up a little bit. The awesome thing is, y'all, is that we're actually growing our own strawberries. We're actually growing our own apples, and we got pears totally covered this year. And sadly, actually, we did have cherries covered, but our three cherry trees actually died, and they were about
I think I'm
3 or
replacing
4 years old.
Yeah,
too.
I think I'm replacing the cherries.
So-
they did fruit and whatnot. They just never did it really well.
So
or
we'll keep reading
prolifically.
into this article, but as we're going to see as we're reading through this, pretty much what we're going to just have to do is just stop trusting Big Ag and the USDA and just grow our own food.
Yeah, more and more people say, the
Yeah.
only way you know what's in it is if you grow it yourself. So that's what we're trying to do. Amazingly, more than 90% of all samples of strawberries, apples, cherries, spinach, nectarines, and grapes were found to have at least 2 different chemical pesticides on them. All in all, more than 250 different pesticides were discovered on American produce, pesticides that in many cases are illegal to use in other countries.
Wow.
American produce growers caught using illegal pesticides that were banned many years ago. In some cases,
Wow.
the pesticides identified by EWG in American produce are not even legal here in the U.S.
What?
6% of green beans, the group found, contained the neurotoxin organophosphate.
Phosphate. Yeah.
Well, I'm pronouncing it very slowly because I kept saying glyphosate before, and it's glyphos. Always glyphosate. I don't know. I mispronounced it, and now when I look
We're all
at
a bunch of hillbillies, y'all.
yeah.
So whatever.
So that's how I pronounce it. So if Kiev, y'all,
Yep.
which was banned from the use on green beans, and 11 for being a possible human carcinogen, according to the Environmental Protection Agency.
Wow.
Organophosphates or phos,
Just
I
it's
don't know,
fine. You're good. You're good.
organophosphates were among the most common class of crop chemicals identified. And oh yeah, that I can pronounce that right because it's glyphosate. No, glyphosate. Whatever. I'm good. I can't picture it right now. Green beans and blueberries were grown conventionally tend to contain the highest and most worrying levels of organophosphates.
That's funny. I've known about the blueberries, but not green beans. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is a new one for me.
Yeah.
What do organophosphates do to the body? For one, they damage the nervous system and poison children's developing brains. The parents who feed their children conventional blueberries should know that 10% of them contain an organophosphate known as phosmet, while 9% contain another called malathion. And I've heard of malathion. They use it for different kinds of pests.
Yummy.
Both are organophosphates, and malathion was categorized as probably carcinogenic to humans by the International Agency of Research in Cancer in 2015. On every kind of crop on the Dirty Dozen list, with cherries being the one exception, more than 50 different pesticides were detected. The worst offenders in terms of quality of pesticides residue were kale, collard, mustard greens, and hot and bell peppers. And the really interesting thing is kale, collards, and mustard greens are incredibly easy to grow.
Yeah.
So are hot and bell peppers.
Yeah,
These are
just
some of the most
prolific.
commonly grown, very easy to grow. If you're down in the South, you're going to need, they're definitely, when it gets hot, you're going to need shade and whatnot. They're definitely
for the leafy
better,
greens,
cooler for the leafy greens. The Dirty Dozen is as follows. Strawberries, spinach, kale, collards, and mustard greens, peaches, pears, nectarines, apples, grapes, bell and hot peppers, cherries, blueberries, and green beans. And we had several blueberries, and they never worked.
Nah.
I couldn't get them to work properly.
We're gonna have to try again.
Now that I keep continuing to adjust my watering system, I'll probably give blueberries a go again. And I was using the different blueberries that were recommended for our zone and area and region and all that stuff. The Clean 15, conversely, are as follows. Avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, onions, papaya, sweet peas, asparagus, honeydew melon, kiwi, cabbage, mushroom, mangoes, sweet potatoes,
Really?
watermelon, and carrots.
Huh.
So I thought that was very
interesting
that these conventionally grown other foods, it does give you some options. So it's just this is really good information.
That's pretty sweet, man.
The people that are in the organic sphere and that are up on organic stuff, they're well aware of this. It's also interesting how these lists change every year. I find that kind of fascinating too. But I thought this was some really good information. I think that's the end of the article.
That's it. It's a little short article.
Yeah, so we just wanted to jump on here and push this information out and say hi to everybody. We appreciate you all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is a value for value proposition. So if you do like the content that we put out, please go over to TheTexasBoys.com. You can check out our awesome merch.
We got our honey.
Non-vaccinated honey.
Which doesn't have any of those nasty toxic chemicals that we were just talking about.
Which is dioxin-free.
Awesome.
And very exciting. Hopefully we're going to have we have several interviews. I have 2 interviews lined up so far for the channel in the next couple weeks. I might have found a third, the one from today.
No, the one that's going to happen on Friday.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have going to have Ben Holler on from the Holler Homestead and interview him and how they made the switch and how they moved from suburban California out to the country and literally just reinvented themselves, reinvented their life with all their kiddos. They got like 5 kids now. And I think they have 5 kids. And that's very inspiring. I want to push Ben and Meg's story out there because it's a very uncommon story, and they were just common, normal kids with not a lot of money, and they just made it happen, and they did it. It's a great story. It's very inspiring. It's encouraging, and it might motivate some people to do all the things that we need to do right now.
All right.
And moving forward. So
thank you all so much. Thank you, your mom. She said that she was going to be on here. and
Look,
she's
Matt,
on here.
your mom, all right? It's good that you made it, your
Yeah.
mom. It's good seeing you, Spence, Curly Q, all right, Carlos.
Yeah.
All of our faithful super subs. Thanks for being on the backup
Yeah,
channel.
and this video will repost tomorrow over on the main channel. So that's just kind of how we're going to be doing it. Is we're just going to be shooting them live over here, so y'all kind of get like to see
the
them
preview,
first.
see,
which is
because you
kinda,
guys
like,
are
awesome.
like super dedicated.
Yeah, exactly. So for everybody that's rewatching this on the main channel, come over here to the Texas Boys Reacts, and you can watch these videos live over here.
And the other way to get a jump on them is to be subscribed to our Rumble.
Yeah.
Because we are streaming this live on Rumble, so when we post this on the main channel, we will delete it from the Rumble re-upload. So this is working. We're enjoying it. This is how
Yeah.
we're getting the information out. And we appreciate y'all because y'all help make it happen. And, we're just trying to bob and weave. We're getting ready for what's up.
Yeah.
And so far, it's kind of working.
Yeah,
So,
and there's going to be a couple different videos coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned. They're little this is,
inside baseball.
yeah, inside baseball. There's actually there's been another chemical deal, plume.
Oh yeah,
Explosion.
there was just another right
So,
here. In,
no, don't say it.
all right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. y'all.
Tomorrow. So,
All right. Well, we will see y'all on the next video.
all right. See y'all later.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.